We're talking about the recent New York Times article. They each own 50 credit cards. Should you? Now, we've addressed the main
Wait,
article.
I didn't realize it was a question, Justin. Yes. The answer is yes. I buried the lead. That should have been my response to the
Oh,
title. Should you? Yes.
if you're responsible. If you're sophisticated, if you're a
If you're,
sophisticate.
get in the game. If you're interested in playing the game, yes.
The answer
Maybe
to
not.
everything, more credit cards.
Yeah. Maybe not day one. We don't recommend applying for 50 credit cards on day one. But yeah, come out to the meetup, talk to Justin's, and let's get you on the path. Justin, maybe we should post something in the comments about this and say,
Ooh. It's definitely in the show notes, yes.
yeah, show notes. I was going to say the comments of the article, although maybe we can't do that now. Maybe the
Not in
comments are
that
closed.
situation.
Yeah.
It is closed. Too late. Let's address these comments. But first, if you are a Subscribe Star member, you have the opportunity to add your feedback or ask guests your questions. And this one's a feedback. Listener Eric and subscriber Eric says, no additional questions. I'll never understand the people in these comments. We don't make the rules, we play by them. The lack of understanding when it comes to unilateral contracts is baffling. Sure, they set the terms and conditions. If we accept their offer and it's not profitable for the issuer, that's on them. Further, with all due respect to W-2 employees, any of these comments regarding getting a job as a better use of one's time is myopic regarding one's ability to seek value and generate value on their own.
Amen, Eric. Amen.
Drop the mic, although
Preach,
thankfully
brother.
it's on a mic stand, so you won't hear bad audio.
Let's hope.
All right, thanks, Eric. That's an intro to the comments here. One of the commenters, TD, says, yes, you get the bonus for opening the credit card, but how much more do you pay on your borrowing and insurance as a consequence of your decreased credit score? So that's obviously false.
It's $0.0. Yeah, I can answer that one.
$0 more. We're actually saving money on borrowing and insurance. And personally, I'm not even borrowing. I'm not taking out personal loans. Are you?
I'm not.
But
I guess
mortgage, you're definitely saving, right?
Yeah, there's the discussion about the mortgage, right? There's a common idea that you would pause new applications for 6 months prior to a mortgage. I don't know if you actually need to do that. I was fairly early on in my exploration of the hobby when we refinanced our mortgage. But I do remember several pages worth of credit card statements that they
Lifetime Achievement Award.
So I can only imagine what that would be now.
I got the chat logs here, Darren. It looks
they probably more
take
of
take a seat.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk. I'm not mad. I'm mostly impressed. I just need to, so
you're sophisticated.
Yeah, sophisticated.
So we're not paying more money. That's debunked, TD, right there. Another commenter, Mike, says, who has time to figure all this out? It's probably easier to get a minimum wage job. These are extreme coupon clippers. Darren, should we just stop all this, cancel all our cards, and work at McDonald's?
That's a hard pass for me. Again, I think the thing that Mike is maybe missing out here is it depends on how you redeem these points, right? A lot of the value is how you redeem them. I mentioned Alaska Miles earlier. My family and I are flying in business class from Bangkok through Frankfurt to Toronto for 85,000 miles. So that's less than one sign-up bonus. And that's a, I don't know, $6,000 ticket, $10,000 ticket. I actually have no idea because I would never pay that much money. You're
definitely not going to get that working a minimum wage job, or else it would take you a lot of hours to do that. And you probably wouldn't if you were working a minimum wage job. And of course, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can have a job in the day and then do this at night or on the weekends, which actually you do. And you're not working a minimum wage job. You're a salaried individual making decent money, but you still find this to be valuable.
100%. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing that I got carried away with my Alaska Miles there, but the flexibility, right? I don't have to go work another job after I work my first job, right? I can do it as it fits into my life in evenings, on weekends, whatever works for me. That's what I can do. So again, it's the flexibility that is really much more like a hobby than a job. You find time for it when you want to find time for it. I enjoy it. I know you enjoy it. And there's a whole host of other people out there that enjoy it.
Yeah. And who has the time to figure it all out? It's interesting to me. I'm not a person who follows sports but I know a lot of people put a lot of time in analyzing games, watching games, looking at stats and something, and they find that to be valuable. And we find this to be valuable, and we're making and saving money as a result of it. And you don't have to do it all yourself because, of course, there are many websites that we follow and communities that we're part of where people are figuring this out together. So that's a weird thing. And extreme couponers is funny, or extreme coupon clippers, they said, because in the past I've gone back and forth with these couponers because I would talk to them and say, hey, I think you can do more with miles and points, or if you're still going to do this couponing, then why not add credit cards and get 4x at grocery, 5x at grocery and stack? And they were very negative. And I wasn't impressed by the coupon clippers because a lot of what they were doing is, oh, look, if you spend $10 on Jello, then you're going to get maybe $5 back in an app and then get some rewards. And I wasn't really interested in spending that money on Jello to begin with. So it didn't really seem that got us very far. That was at least my experience. Maybe people are doing a much better job, but I was thoroughly unimpressed by coupon clippers when I was in some groups in the past.
Yeah, again, I think it's, are you able to get the thing that you want or the thing that you were going to get? In coupon clipping, were you already going to buy the peanut butter? In which case, great, you're going to save some money. Were you already going to pay an insurance bill? And so now we're just changing from how you pay that insurance bill from a check or a debit card or an ACH to a credit card that then you're going to pay off with an ACH some number of days later. Nothing has changed in how you're going to spend the money. It's just the way that you do it that accrues more value.
Yes, and I'm going to be going to Brisbane, Australia next year, and certainly clipping coupons is not going to get me to Australia. So we're getting far more value.
Not anymore. Not since what's the
Pudding
story
guy.
of the guy, the pudding man?
Pudding man can. I say in the outro, I don't sing, but in this case I did.
Just this one time.
Just this one time. All right, moving on to another comment. Commenter Soul, not to be confused with the WWE wrestler Sol Ruca, would not say anything like this. But Soul says their success, and they put scare quotes around the success, is nothing more than accumulating for themselves at the expense of others. Parentheses, not the companies. These things are inevitably a zero-sum game where the losers who pay for this are other little people. This was mentioned more than once in the article. On balance, it's difficult to see what value this contributes to the world, but this is what people aspire to. And the way that this is spreading these days, it's wrong form of it's really a reflection of the twin tenets of self-centered consumerism and the lowest common denominator effect of social media, which itself just represents values that are just unquestionably accepted today.
That was a very dramatic reading, Justin. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Do you think Sol just copies and pastes this comment in every article that he or she disagrees with? I feel like it's not specific. It really doesn't. It's like,
you're selfish. You're taken from the little man.
And so that's the second question I have. When they talk about the little guy here, are they talking about little in stature, little in knowledge, little in wealth?
Money?
Yeah. What's the little here? I think the Soul needs to be more specific.
Yeah, and is it really selfish? I've been very sharing of travel with others, and it helped them save money on travel. And I'd go meet people. They'd be pretty happy. We found community. We're having a fun time with this. We're educating others. Yeah, they're just anti-credit card here, anti-social media. They brought social media into it. It's like their issue that they don't like. And that's
what I'm saying. Yeah, they're just talking about a bunch of stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with this.
The self-centered consumerism, the twin tenets.
Yeah, and consumerism, I hear you. And there are a number of countries that rely almost exclusively on tourism as part of their service industry. So I think Iceland, for example, their number one industry is around tourism. And is that bad?
You should just feel bad. You just should feel.
Should we go back to fermented sharks and like what's
gardening?
Yeah.
Live in the mountains. All right, we'll move on to Zach here. This article is remarkably behind the times. Churning probably peaked around 10 years ago since the release of the Chase Sapphire Reserve card.
Zach's not entirely wrong about churning specifically if we narrowly defined it about signing up, as you said earlier, signing up for the same card over and over again. There are a few cards that famously you could do that. Alaska actually was one of them. So he's not wrong about churning specifically, but I think in this instance, the author of this article is using probably churning in a more broad term or to encompass more of what we do as part of the hobby. So yeah, okay, sure. I'll give Zach that one.
I've been in this for about 8 years, 2018, quick math there. And I've had tremendous success. So I wouldn't say it's peaked. I think that the hobby has still a lot of value, and there have been some amazing opportunities in the past few years. So I don't know about peaked, but that's, I think, missing the larger point of there being great value. We'll move on to the next Chris for another dramatic reading. What a weird materialistic world we have created, dashing from one deal, scare quotes, to another like pigs to a trough. To get caught up in this melange of behaviors says a lot about how shallow we have become. Suggestion: keep things simple and stop, quote unquote, needing all the things you buy. Most of them you don't need. Spend more time with friends and acquaintances than with stuff. It's more fun, and you could expand your universe immensely for free.
Why not spend more time with friends and families riding on an airplane up front than in the back or in
Oh
a
no, Darren, your melange of
five-star
behaviors. Your
five-star
melange.
hotel instead of a hostel? Like,
Shallow,
I don't
Darren. You're so
know.
shallow. It's so
Yes,
shallow.
yeah,
Keep
I
things
guess.
simple, Darren. Just sit at home,
And
chop
and
vegetables,
so, oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna say sit at home, apply for credit cards, and play blackjack, which is what I do. I thought that's where you're
clean
going.
the shower from mold. You got to watch
Yeah,
out for that.
yeah,
Cleaning
all the
supplies.
things.
You got to spend the time in the kitchen, Darren, and do
These are
everything
for
by hand. And you don't need anything.
so look at I
Expand your universe.
for the first few years of my professional career, I worked closely with the Amish. Good people, by and large, right? Like everybody else. There's some folks in there not so good, but like everybody else, right? They work hard, but it's not something I necessarily aspire to. I'm gonna let them continue to I'm gonna let them continue to reject technology, and I'm gonna find ways to find success here using the tools at hand.
All right. I guess Chris could pay full price for travel or just sit at home. That's an option. We don't think it's a good one. All right. Commenter Vic here says the credit card companies exist to entrap you. We keep thing as simple as possible with them. We have two credit cards. One gets used and paid off immediately, and the other is never used. Most things are paid with a debit card. That's a lot of peace of mind in living within your means. So that doesn't make much sense. Why not just put everything on the credit card and pay it off immediately if that's the thing, or at least pay it once a week, once every other week? And if the other card is never used, it's probably just going to get canceled by the issuer. And why use a debit card to pay for things if you could just use credit, get some rewards, and then just pay it off?
I had exactly the same thoughts to everything you said, and I will add,
All right, good.
heaven forbid you ever are scammed. You go to a gas station late at night, you're traveling, you put your debit card in to pay for gas, or you're somewhere where you're paying for something with a debit card, and somebody that doesn't have the same morals, Vic, as you do, steals that debit card and now can use it to spend a lot of your money. It takes time for that to be investigated and for you to get that credit back. And in the short term, you can really struggle with cash flow versus, I don't know, Justin, having or owning, excuse me, a number of credit cards. I've had a few that end up with fraud alerts on them. And the credit card companies are thus far 100% willing and oftentimes find the fraudulent charge even before I do and will block the card, refund the charges, and don't hold you liable. And it does not affect your ability to pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay for your kids' college, pay for your gas money, any of those things, right? That it would if someone were able to suddenly empty your bank account through your debit card. So
Right. There wouldn't be much peace of mind there.
no, I see what you did there, Justin. I see what you did there.
And we're still living within our means. So they're just assuming that we're spending more money because we have plastic or metal. We're not. So we'll go on to another commenter, MLS. Seems akin to compulsive gambling, although the odds of winning are greater. Still, this is the pursuit of free money, taking without giving. It's a morally impoverished approach to life. Sure, We all need money to live, but an activity such as this one contributes nothing to life, nothing to society, nothing to personal growth. It is not the pursuit of knowledge or love or the improvement of the lives of others. Ours devoted, the what in the end is a meaningless endeavor. Score keeping, two words, in competition with an anonymous authority, banks and corporations. No different from competing against the anonymous authority of a casino or the stock market for that matter. Emptiness. Are you feeling emptiness, Darren, when you're with your family traveling?
I'm not. I don't feel much emptiness there.
Are you feeling morally impoverished?
No, I'm not.
Is it it's not the pursuit of love after all? It's all just empty
Yeah.
emptiness, Darren, emptiness. Anonymous authorities.
Sometimes emptiness is nice, right? When you've managed to find yourself a quaint little Airbnb away from everybody else, and you're sitting on the
Oh,
porch and looking up the sky and pondering your place in the world. But I'm not sure that's the emptiness that MLS is talking about
no, more
here.
like
So
solitude or contentment,
yeah,
not this like
yeah,
negative.
yeah.
All right, how about B Bar? B Bar says a debit card linked to a spending account works fine for me. One statement a month, which is already paid. So easy. I don't want to play the games credit cards have invented to keep customers. They give rewards, scare quotes, so they can glean more and higher swipe fees from merchants, who in turn raise their prices to cover the fees. So you are essentially paying for your own rewards without realizing it. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Tinstoffel, Darren, Tinstoffel. But I wonder if we're to use debit cards, then we would be paying the interchange fees. So how about use a credit card and get something back?
Yeah. Banks, I don't know if B-Bar knows this, but
B-Bar.
all banks, I keep wanting to say Bebazzlebub, but that's not,
Beelzebub or
yeah,
Babar, the elephant?
yeah.
Not
I
the
don't think that's
situation.
not in that situation. I don't think I've gotten it right there. I think maybe they don't realize that debit card also charge interchange fees, and it costs merchants some amount of percentage, again, based on the bank and negotiated fees to use any credit card there. So I guess they should just use cash if that's what they want to do.
Still pay the fees anyway.
Or barter, some sort of bartering maybe would work. Some chickens.
Bartering with Babar.
I feel like that's a kid's book. No?
Ooh, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Compulsive gambling is what we're doing. Compulsive gambling.
I,
It's ridiculous. It's like we're just sitting at a slot machine throwing hundreds in there and losing all of our money, even though we can't afford it, and we're just like chasing losses. We're certainly not doing that with credit cards. And it's funny because we've talked about online gambling, and it's a very disciplined approach. We're playing through money once and withdrawing and taking advantage of bonuses. So we're not just playing and just like being degenerates. We're certainly not doing that.
I think there's a certain amount of self-awareness, self-control that's required for any of these things, but also for life, right? You got to be willing to drive at a reasonable miles per hour down the road.
Yeah.
You can drive your car 90, but you probably shouldn't drive your car 90 in a 35. That
Sounds fun. I don't know.
like that. That
should
would be,
you?
that would be,
should you?
like that would be irresponsible.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. So what's the alternative? You're going to pay for your travel. We're going to sign up for cards and get rewards and use those to offset travel. And we're also going to get cash back. So they could go to their minimum wage job. The other commenter mentioned if they want to do that, but we think there's a better alternative.
We know there's a better alternative, Justin. We don't have to think. We know.
For
Well, we
those
did
who
think,
can
and now we
be
know.
savvy, sophisticated, responsible, and intelligent, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So an interesting article from the New York Times. Any other thoughts on that or the comments?
It's interesting to me. Anytime some of our information from the hobby, there's some article in the mainstream press. I think there's two approaches. One, it's this people that aren't in the hobby railing against it and telling us about how awful it is or how it doesn't make any sense to them, which that's fine. A lot of people don't think golf is any fun, right? Somebody said golf is just a good walk spoiled, right? This quote. People find value in lots of different things. That's what makes life exciting. Some people like to play golf. Some people like to knit. Some people like to run or exercise. Any one of those things can add value to your life and to the life of those around you if you do it in a way that's responsible. right? But it also, if you get obsessed with it and neglect any of the other things or do it irresponsible, it can be challenging. So when these things leak out and everyone sort of rails against them, okay. I think the other different idea is that from the inside the community, it's, oh no, now it's all over because there's been some article talking about it. And clearly they haven't read the comments because it's just 315 of these things saying how this is a pointless thing and why would anyone do it? Oh,
It's the other side of the Dave Ramsey coin.
yeah, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. No one's coming to your house and making you sign up for the American Express Platinum. But FYI, if you got a targeted invite and don't want to use it, hit me up.
200K MR.
Yeah,
Right.
hit me up. Hit me
I'll
up.
take the mirror finish too.
Yeah, I got a spot and we can work out a deal. Anyway, I don't have much to say other than that. I think it's a lot of hyperbole on both sides. Like many things, nothing is for everybody. And really what we're trying to do here is a hobby that some folks enjoy and some folks don't.
All right, good. I thought the article was mostly fair, although I had some issue with some of the language, like exploiting loopholes, some of the numbers thrown out, but an interesting thing to evaluate. And one more thing about the mainstream media, it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I think, where there were some reports when a lot of people got shut down by American Airlines and Citi, and some
I
mainstream
have no idea what you're talking about, Justin.
some people in the mainstream media made a comment along the lines of, "Oh, they spend so much time in miles and points. Why don't they just spend their time curing cancer?"
Because curing cancer is really hard. I can help with that.
Yes, we can contribute value. The commenters are talking about, "Oh, it's also selfish. It's soul destroying, your melange of behaviors and so on." But we can still be worthwhile to society. And then what metric is that? There's all kinds of shaming language to get you to do all kinds of things that other people want you to do. But it's the nice thing of having choices in America and finding what you think is creative and productive and hopefully contributing to society in some other way. It's not always going to be a traditional 9 to 5. It's not going to be, oh, be a real man, Justin, and join the military or go work in the oil fields, or decades ago it would be go be a coal miner. That's what you should do. Oh, your family, they were all dentists. You should be too. So it's a lot of people shaming and trying to get you to do things that they want you to do. But we can make a choice and decide what we want to do with our lives.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to some of your early podcast, Justin's about choosing your own path, not doing what society necessarily expects of you, but finding something that you find value in and doing that. And when you find value in it, I know for you, this article talks, or at least the comments talk about how there's no other value, but I know you found tremendous value in community around this hobby and teaching others and hosting this podcast with me, which I'm very thankful for and I find value in. So I think you've done a lot of good things here. And I think the idea that it's all feckless
So
and empty
selfish.
is probably.
Donate your kidneys to Darren. You could live without those.
I tried to become a bone marrow donor, actually, Justin. They said I was, quote, too old.
Too old. Your birth year started with 19. You're too old.
Yep.
Not in that situation.
Not in that situation. We're all in happiness for sure.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone, and stay tuned for future episodes.